Hello Edison students, my name is Scott, and I will be joining you today. We have a full day planned. Let's get started.
And it went like
Today you would need a water bottle, sodium polyacrylate, dish soap, hydrogen peroxide, colored pencils, dry yeast, sketch pad, warm water, food coloring. Hello, Edison friends. It's Mr. Scott. I'll be spending the day with you. We only have a couple ground rules to go over before we start today. First, you must have a parent's or guardian's approval before doing any of our experiments today. Also, please keep your supplies neat and in order because we may need them throughout the course of the week. So please don't use up all of your supplies all at once. Okay, that's it. Let's get started. In your kits, you will find a bag of sodium polyacrylate. You can find this same substance inside baby diapers, if you can believe it or not, and it's able to absorb a huge amount of water. So take your sodium polyacrylate out of your package and pour it into your container. Now we're going to add about 250 milliliters of water. It could just be tap water. But if you use distilled water, it can absorb up to 800 times its weight. Next, we're just going to let the magic begin and just let the water absorb into the sodium polyacrylate. As you can see, it's starting to rise and it's starting to turn into a powder. Let that go for a couple minutes, and eventually all of the water will be absorbed. Even though we used a small amount, it was able to absorb all of the water. What we are left with is a dry powder, but it's mostly all water. Now it's time to take your snow out of its container. So you might have to give it a couple shakes, but it'll eventually start coming out. And as you can see, we have what looks like snow. Now, make sure you still have gloves on, and if you do get this on your hands, make sure you wash your hands with soap and water afterwards. But if you touch it, it feels just like snow. It's light, it's fluffy, and you could probably make a snowball out of it. Okay, let us know how it goes. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to learn how to draw 3D letters. So we're going to need our sketch pads that came in your kits, so you can get those out. And we also have a pack of colored pencils in there also, so you can use those if you like, or you can use whatever you want to. You can use a pencil, you can use a marker. It's really up to you what you would like to use. So let's get started. So 3D letters are really easy to do. So we're going to make our first line. We're going to draw an A for our letters here, as you can see. So the thing we're trying to do, we're trying to make a block letter. So as you can see, we're just drawing lines. We're tracing out an A, and we're going to put these lines together. Okay, we're going to fill in the middle here. Now, the trick to drawing the 3D letters is to make a dot anywhere on a piece of paper, and now draw your line to that dot. As you can see, we put a dot up in the upper right-hand corner. Now we're drawing our lines there. So now all we have to do is kind of connect our lines together now. So as you can see, we're connecting lines, and look at that, we have an A. So now we do a little bit of shading. So as you shade in these areas, just make sure you do it pretty light. If you go dark, it may not show up very well. So just try to trace in those areas with light strokes of your pencil or your marker or your colored pencils. Okay. And as you can see, like I said, whichever letter you're going to draw, just make sure you draw the letter as sort of a block first, and then put your dot anywhere on the piece of paper, and then draw your lines to that dot. And as you can see, we made A for amazing.
How did your 3D letters and snow turn out? Next up, we are going to make elephant toothpaste and learn about boxers, dogs that is.
Okay, now let's make elephant toothpaste. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our warm water, and we have about 4 tablespoons of water here in this cup. We're just going to pour that into an empty container. We're going to take our yeast packet that we have, and we're going to put the whole thing inside that water. And then after that, we're going to give it a good stir until it starts to dissolve a little bit. Make sure you stir all the clumps out of that yeast before we use it, okay? Next up, we're going to use our hydrogen peroxide, and we're going to use a 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide. And then you want to pour that into your container and just set that to the side for a second. Now we're going to take about a tablespoon of dish soap and just put that inside with your hydrogen peroxide. Get that a little swirl around, mix it up a little bit. Next, we're going to take some food coloring, and here we made a teal color, so we used 20 drops of blue and 4 drops of green to give us the teal color that you're going to see here in a second. And then once we do that, we're also going to give that a little stir. Make sure we mix everything up so we have a very good reaction. And then next, what we're going to do, we're going to pour that yeast into that container. Okay, and as you can see, it's starting to bubble up a little bit there. We sped it up a little bit to give you a better reaction time, but just let yours sit for a little bit. It might take a little bit of time for it to react. So, elephant toothpaste is a foam that is extra special because each tiny foam bubble is filled with oxygen. The yeast acted as a catalyst. A catalyst is used to speed up a reaction. It quickly broke apart the oxygen from the hydrogen peroxide. Because it did this very fast, it created lots and lots of bubbles. Did you notice the bottle got warm? Your experiment created a reaction called an exothermic reaction. That means it not only created foam, it created heat. The foam produced is just water, soap, and oxygen. So you can clean it up with a sponge and pour any extra liquid left in the bottle down the drain.
Let's turn this up a notch.
Hello, Edison friends. I'm Dr. Mike. This is my daughter, Brooklyn, and this is our dog, Louie. Louie is a boxer, and today I'm going to give you some quick facts about boxers. Okay, so first, boxers originated in Germany. They grow to be 50 to 70 pounds. They're usually about 2 feet high on the shoulders. They live to be about 10 to 12 years old, and they come in many different colors, but mainly fawn and brindle. Louis is considered a brindle with a black mask. The black around his face is why they call it a black mask, And what brindling is the dark stripes that show on his fur, similar to what a tiger would have. There's also something called a reverse brindle, in which the dog is mostly dark with light stripes. We love our brindle boxer and we think he's beautiful. Boxers are considered to be the Peter Pan of dog breeds. They have tons of energy and a playful nature. They just don't want to grow up, just like Peter Pan. Because of this, boxers have to get a ton of exercise, otherwise they'll get into trouble. Because of this, boxers have to get tons of exercise. Another thing, boxers love old people. Last but not least, boxers are very loyal. They'll never leave your side. They follow you around your house from room to room. If you go outside, they want to go outside. You come inside, they come inside. Think of it as a big drooling shadow. They'll never leave your side. Hey, hope you guys learned a little bit about boxers. Thanks for spending some time with us. Y'all have a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Hope you had fun. See you tomorrow. Bye.
And it went like